I'm Walt Wager, and today we're going to turn a little ring box like this. I call it a Richard Raffan ring box because he's the first one I saw make something like this. And they're easy to make. And then in another video, either later today or tomorrow, we're going to try some marbling on wood. So I'll make a couple of these and then we'll try some marbling and see what we can do with it. So let's get started. I've got about a 6 or 7 inch piece of Bradford pear, about 2 1/4 inches square, between centers. I'm going to rough it out and put a tenon on one side. Okay, let's see what we got here. So I'll put a tenon on this side. Square it up. Pretty good. And I'll turn it around and put it in the chuck. Okay. Alright, we've got some cracking going on there, but I think we'll get down beyond that. I'm going to clean up the top here a bit, get rid of some of this oxidized. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a divot in here because I'm going to drill it with a Fosner bit, and I want it to start right in the middle, as close to the middle as we can. So I'll just make a little divot. And the inside of the box is going to be 1 3/8. I'm going to make the box about 2 inches long to the bottom. Slow it down. Put the Fosner bit in there tight. And crank it. Bring it out. Hold on to the keyless chuck or key chuck so it doesn't come out of the Morse taper. That can happen, believe me. And now we're going to take a little larger Fosner bit. We're going to mark, this one is 1.5, and we're going to mark the outside of the rim of that box. That just gives me an idea of the thickness, because the top is going to be drilled out with the same drill. You'll see how that works in a minute. I'm going to put the live center back in just to hold it while I take that down to about 1/16 of an inch. And for that I'm going to use a Badan. Tick, tick, tick is cracked. Let's see if I can get down past that crack. That's probably a little thicker than I want it, but I can always increase the diameter of the top later. So we're going to now sand it inside. This is the time to sand the inside. I've got a dowel with a piece of sandpaper that goes in a slot like this. Get the tailstock out of the way, and sand the inside of it. There's a little dimple in the bottom from the Fosner bit. If that bothers you, you can take a round scraper and go in there and round off the bottom. For my purposes today, I'm not going to do that. Okay, there is a crack that comes into the top right here. I'm going to put the tailstock back up, hold it, keep it from wobbling. I'm using a small bowl gouge and paper on the back. I just lay the skew bevel on the wood, and you can just peel it away. Lay the bevel on the wood. Remember, my bottom is way down here. I'm going to peel that, hitting some grain. Let's take a look. There's tear out right there because of a knot, and I don't know that I'm going to get down past that. And some tear out here because of the grain of the wood. So I've got a little bit of a problem with this piece of wood. What I can do is to try to come down past that, and it'll be a little bit shorter, but maybe I can get past that crack. So what I'll do is I'll part it off and go and re-drill it. I'll get back with you. Okay, I'm back to where I was. I parted it off and re-drilled it, so the bottom of my box, the bottom of my hole, the box is now right here, and the bottom of the box is here. It's a little bit shallower box because I need some room for the top. I got rid of some of the cracks, and I still have a tiny crack where I glued. Yeah. And I'm going to again shape it, going from the broader to the narrower with about a 1/16 of an inch lip up here. And again, for stability, just so that it doesn't get out of center, I'll bring this up and I'm going to leave it loose and just crank this in until the live center starts turning. Then lock it down and lock it down. So it's just supporting it. I don't want to force it or I'll break it up. Yeah. So I'm making shape that I want. And I'll try finishing with the skew, laying the bevel on the wood, picking up the cut, and just going down to it. Raise this a little higher so I can get the bevel right on the wood. And that feels much better. Okay, so the bottom of my container is right here. I'm going to put a little bead on the top. And a little bead on the bottom. I'm going to sand the outside. I'm going to start with a 180, if I can find it. It's on the stick here. Actually, I'm going to resand the inside because I re-drilled it. I didn't re-sand it. Pretty good. I'll sand the outside. And I'll go down to 320. And 600. I'm going to part this off. I'm using a parting tool made from an old reciprocal saw blade. It's less than a 1/16 of an inch thick. So let's go for the top. I'm going to put a divot for my my Forstner bit starts in the center. And use the 1.5 inch Forstner bit and a drill chuck. Sure it's good and tight. Slow it down. And you only have to go in as far as the top. That's good. I'll take a small scraper, round edge scraper, and dome the top, the inside top of this a little. Okay. Now I'm going to shape the top. If I'm going to sand the inside, I need to do that now. I'm already a little bit loose, so I don't want to sand too much on the edge. I'm going to come down to within a 1/16 of an inch of that bead. And the shape of the top is going to be like a minaret. I have to be a little bit careful that I don't start my curvature early, or I'll cut right through that ring. You know, make a jam chuck and clean up the top. I would normally have enough wood left right here, but I had to shorten it, if you remember. And so I will grab another piece of wood. Okay, so I created a jam chuck and it was a little loose, so I put a piece of tissue behind the wood to firm it up on the jam chuck. And I'm just going to take my spindle gouge now and clean up the bottom. And I'll sand that. That's pretty good. The top fits on there pretty nicely. I clean up the top, so I'll have to make another jam chuck to clean up the top. I saved my old cutoffs, so I reuse them. And I'll determine how much I have to cut off for my jam chuck. I'll use my badant just to take it off down to that line. Leave a little bit of a taper on there. I can determine where it's going to fit, and then go down that line. And it'll fit on there quite snugly. Sometimes more snugly than I want. That's pretty much got it. I'll take my spindle gouge and finish up this curve here on top. Sand it. And 600. Gives me a pretty nice surface. Now I've got to get it off of there, that's the problem. On there nice and tight. There it comes. That's why I have box number 2. Now for marbling, we're going to have to take these boxes and treat them with alum, let it dry, and I'll go have lunch. Time is 1 o'clock now. I'll go have lunch, and when we come back they should be dry, and then we'll try some marbling. If you like this video, go to my website waltwager.com and subscribe. There are a number of other videos on that site.